In 1815, a 19-year-old sailor named Edmond Dantès is living a charmed life. He's about to be promoted to captain of the ship Pharaon. He has a devoted father, and he is engaged to the woman of his dreams, Mercedes. But sudden upward mobility creates a target on his back. His success draws the bitter envy of three specific men in his immediate orbit: a greedy neighbor named Caderousse, a fierce romantic rival named Fernand, and an ambitious ship's accountant, Danglars. Together, they engineer a trap. They draft a forged anonymous letter, falsely accusing Edmond of acting as a secret political courier for the exiled Napoleon Bonaparte. On the very day of his wedding, the police arrive and arrest him for treason. The final blow comes from the investigating prosecutor, Gerard de Villefort. Villefort quickly realizes Edmond is innocent. However, the treasonous letter actually implicates Villefort's own father. To protect his family's political standing and his own career, the prosecutor buries the evidence. Edmond's life is ruined by a calculated, systemic failure of justice. Four different men, driven entirely by their own self-interest, quietly dismantle an innocent man's future. Without a trial or a public record, Edmond is secretly banished to the Château d'If, an inescapable island fortress in the middle of the sea. For 14 years, he languishes in absolute isolation. The agonizing passage of time pushes him to the brink of madness, and he contemplates starvation to end his own life. The justice system completely forgets him. Back on the mainland, the four men who orchestrated his downfall thrive. They acquire wealth, status, and power, living comfortably without facing a single consequence. When the very institutions designed to protect the innocent commit the ultimate crime against one, a dangerous vacuum is created. Who is left to balance the cosmic scales?
Deliverance arrives through the stone walls. An elderly fellow prisoner, Abbé Faria, accidentally breaks into Edmond's cell while digging an escape tunnel. Faria redirects Edmond's deep despair into intense, focused study. Over several years, Faria downloads his vast intellect into the uneducated sailor's mind. He teaches Edmond history, science, mathematics, law, and diplomacy. Before Faria dies, he gives Edmond a map to an infinite fortune hidden on an island. Edmond sews himself into Faria's burial shroud, takes the place of the corpse, and is thrown into the sea. He cuts himself free of the heavy stone dragging him down and swims to freedom. He navigates to a specific Mediterranean island, unearthing a staggering hoard of gold, diamonds, and ancient coins. Armed with limitless resources, he sheds his old self entirely, adopting the persona of a mysterious, aristocratic phantom. The naive young sailor died in that dungeon. The entity that emerged from the water is a hyper-educated, infinitely wealthy weapon forged for a single, uncompromising purpose. Now calling himself the Count of Monte Cristo, he doesn't resort to simple violence. To execute a strategy of contrapasso, he engineers traps that turn each man's defining sin into his ruin. Caderousse's greed lures him into a fatal cycle. Fernand's exposed treason drives him to suicide. Villefort's secrets break his mind. Danglars is starved to financial ruin. And only at the exact moment their destruction is absolute does the Count reveal his true identity to them. Edmond has successfully played God. He has engineered a mathematically perfect equation of karmic retribution, delivering the precise justice the law failed to provide. But as the traps spring shut, a critical flaw in the Count's equation emerges. The blast radius of his vengeance catches innocent people, causing unintended suffering and death. This reality hits hardest when he reunites with Mercedes. They both recognize that no amount of punishment inflicted on their enemies can rewrite history or restore the years stolen from them. Terrified of becoming as monstrous as the men he is fighting, Edmond abruptly halts the equation. He spares Danglars' life, leaving him penniless but breathing, and chooses to abandon his wrath. He redirects his vast wealth toward restitution, securing the futures of the loyal friends who stood by him. His war finally over, he sets out across the water to build a new life alongside his companion, Heidi. Playing God through vengeance is a destructive illusion. In the end, the highest form of human wisdom isn't found in balancing the scales yourself, but in having the patience to wait and the courage to hope.